Lately, I've been noticing something about myself, and I'm wondering if I'm the only one on this table. Sometimes we work really hard for something, achieve it, and then almost immediately we move on to the next thing or the next goal. No pause, no celebration, no real moment to experience what just happened, but even let it sort of assimilate and sit with us. And I started asking myself a question. I'm always asking myself a question. Why do we keep moving the goalposts? Why does it sometimes feel like what we once prayed for, worked for, hoped for, becomes normal so quickly? And at what point does growth stop feeling like growth and start feeling like endless chasing? So today I want to talk about ambition, presence, celebrating progress, and whether we've accidentally become too focused on the next thing to enjoy where we currently are.
She's taking control. In her 40s, she's rising high. Daniamite Experience, touching the sky. Beautiful, fearless, her time is now. Lift up your voice, let the world shout loud.
Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl, TD. Welcome back to my podcast, In Her 40s, Unleashing the Daniamite Experience. So, my people, my tribe, today the question I've been asking myself in the last week is, sometimes, why does it feel like we're constantly moving the goalposts? Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, life is a continuous journey. For every destination you get to, for every phase, for every level, there's another level to unlock. But sometimes we're so focused on growing that we forget to even enjoy that new level that we've achieved. It's like writing exams and being promoted to the next class, but you're not even taking time to celebrate the fact that you've passed one level and you've moved on to the next level. And I feel like as adults, we get so caught up in achieving certain goals or milestones that we've set for ourselves that we forget to just enjoy the moment and just stay with it, be in it. So, yeah, this journey is fun, is interesting, but you also have to make sure that you don't get so carried away with just doing that you forget to be. Because the most important thing as a human being is to be, to live, to exist, to genuinely experience life. And while we're focused on continuous growth, we also don't want to get carried away, and that's the only thing that we're focused on. And we forget to just live and experience. And if you remember last week, I spoke about finding the fun things in your life, just doing the things that make you happy and generally uplift your soul. This is another way to do that. And that's in staying in the moment, being grateful for what you have before you even jump to the next task. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be ambitious. Neither am I saying that you should not constantly be working towards progressing and improving yourself. But it's also saying that you shouldn't forget to appreciate how far you've come. Because sometimes when you do, you might not even know. You're busy maybe beating yourself up, whereas you've achieved so much or you've accomplished so much. But because you didn't really stop to acknowledge those movements or the progress, you feel like you really haven't done much. It might seem like your life is just monotonous. It's constant chasing, constant deadlines, constant working towards goals, constant trying to get something done. And that can be very overwhelming. Like I said, me, I want a life of ease, but I also don't want a life that is boring. I don't want a life that is just lazy, so to speak. I like to chill like everybody else. Of course, I like a comfortable life, but I also want to be productive with my life. I want to make an impact. I want to be able to do things that I'll be proud of. But I also don't want to forget myself along the way. And that's very important to me. I don't know about you. but that's very important to me. I don't want to forget myself. So yeah, let's dive into it. So looking at it, it can be from different angles or different aspects of your life. Sometimes it's career, business, relationships, personal growth, or even with happiness. How to put it? It's almost like, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? That mentality can put you in a constantly chasing mood and you're not pausing to just appreciate. It's like when you pray to God for certain things, you get them, and because it's become normal, you're no longer grateful for them. You are now seeking the next thing. So there was a time you didn't have a car and you were praying to God, oh God, please just let me be able to afford a car, even if I want tokumbo, even if it's then God blesses you and you're able to afford a car. Even if it's a tokumbo car and you are at the mechanic every other month. But you're mobile, you have a car. Initially, it's like, oh, fantastic. Oh, God, thank you. At least this, at least that. After a while, you might start complaining about that car. "Ah, this car, the problem is too much. Every other day is one thing or the other. Oh, did it, oh, did it, oh, did it. Forgetting that there was a time you actually prayed for that car, even with all the issues, even with all the problems. So, of course, nobody prays for the extra problems, but just say you were that desperate that you would have taken anything or almost anything. But then you get that thing and then it becomes, what's this? I need to upgrade. I need to upgrade. So we're so focused on the wanting to upgrade that we forget to appreciate where we are and how far we've come. And that's why I said it can be in different aspects. So I use car as an example, but it can be even in business or in relationships. So imagine if maybe you've prayed for a certain kind of guy, for example, and then God now brings that person to you. And then you start taking them for granted. Not because you stop loving them or liking them, but you're just so used to them being there. And you forget that you still have to make an effort to make them know that they're appreciated, they're wanted, they're respected, they're loved, and those kind of stuff. And before you know it, you're wondering why the relationship is going downhill or the person is not maybe doing the things they used to do before because you got too comfortable and you forgot to appreciate them for those little things that they do because you're constantly seeking the next best thing. So you prayed for a kind man, a thoughtful person, a this person. You get all that. Then the next thing I say, I wish he was just richer, or I wish he was taller, or I wish he was. How about thanking God for at least those things that you have first before you now start seeking for more? So of course, I wish you can taller. You can't pray that morning to you cannot become taller. For just say. But at least appreciate those things and not just appreciate it once or twice, but appreciate it regularly because part of that trying to be better or trying to grow is also letting those achievements sit with you. That's why sometimes, when people say you have to validate yourself, you're not. Yes, it's nice when you get validation from outside. People tell you, oh, well done, kudos, nice one, blah, blah, blah. It's nice. It's good. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like people are seeing you. But if you haven't validated yourself, those things are very fleeting. Your personal validation has to be continuous. And you can't validate yourself without acknowledging what you've achieved or how far you've come. So this is the moment to just pause and just sit with it. Pat yourself on the back. It's okay. It's okay. Pat yourself on the back. No matter how small that milestone is a milestone. You made a difference or you made certain changes and adjustments to be able to achieve that milestone. If all it is I want to wake up 1 hour earlier and you're able to do that consistently for a month, look at yourself and be like, okay, you try. Because sometimes that validation, that patting on the back gives you additional momentum to continue. Because there'll be some days that you don't even feel like it. But if you've done it often enough, your body remembers, your brain remembers to go back to that, remember when we were saying, remember when we could not, and slowly but surely, it helps you stay with whatever task or whatever goal you're trying to achieve. Because as they say, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's not over in 2 minutes. If you're running 10 kilometers, you can't compare yourself to somebody who's running 100 meters. 100 meters and 10 kilometers. You can see the distance. That 100-meter person could have run 20 races but you are still on your 10 kilometers. The pace is different. The amount of energy effort is different. The kind of stamina required is different. Speed, all those things. So that comparison sometimes kills our joy because we're busy looking at the next person and maybe what they've achieved without acknowledging what we have also achieved or what we've achieved or what we've accomplished. And that's doing a disservice to yourself because you put yourself in a place where you're not allowing your body to respect yourself. Because the truth is, this whole building self trust and self confidence, it's a very intentional act because most of us are not used to doing it. So you have to do it regularly enough until it becomes a part of who you are. And that's why things like journaling help. Because when people sit down and write about how their day went or how their week went, maybe what stood out to them, what they learned, what they could have done differently, it gives them an opportunity to actually think through things that happened to them, how they reacted to things, how they handled situations. And that reminds us that we're changing slowly but surely. Because sometimes you don't know how far you've progressed or how far you've changed until certain situations happen. So, for example, is if you're the kind of person that gets angry quickly and then you work on managing your emotions, your anger, and whatnot, you might not realize how much work you've done until you find yourself in a situation where you would have maybe lost it and you didn't. And then you're looking at yourself like, oh, wow, I didn't know that this thing was. But you've been slowly building the bricks without knowing that those bricks would eventually now become a house or a shed or whatever it is. But just saying that, so sometimes acknowledging it allows your body to also accept that this is the new me. It's no more that, Topa used to be a procrastinator. I can say that from now till tomorrow. But when I start to not procrastinate and I'm acknowledging the fact that, oh, I'm actually making moves, I'm doing the things that I said I was going to do, I have to also allow my body understand this new version that is slowly coming up. So it's saying that, oh, we don't procrastinate again. Oh. When we say we want to do something, we put a time to it and we do it. Yeah, we might procrastinate a little bit, but you know the window. So you're giving yourself room to say, yeah, we're growing. Yeah, we're taking steps. It might be small steps, but we're taking steps regardless. And that in itself is very uplifting, would I say, is uplifting and calming at the same time. Calming because there's a peace that sort of comes to you because you realize that everything is in your control. And ultimately, that's the root cause of this whole journey. Everything is in your control. It's your choice how you want to shape your life. It's your choice the kind of life you want to live. It's your choice the kind of person you want to be. It's your choice the kind of people you want to be around. The kind of environments you want to be around. It's your choice. You are in control. So yes, some choices might be more difficult than others, but it's up to you. What's important to you? What do you think, I'm not going to compromise on, or I can maybe make some adjustments in this regard. So yeah, that work sits with you ultimately at the end of the day. No matter how you also avoid it, it sits with you. And looking at the way um, life can get, it's almost like we're stuck in a rat race, constantly working or trying to work, chasing work, paying bills, and we're going at it again. Sometimes you feel like the more I try, the more responsibility is coming at me, which can be true, because as they say, the reward for hard work is more work. So the better you are at your job, the more likely that people would always call you for maybe meetings. They want you to sit in on projects. They want you to look over certain things because they feel like, this person is in the team. It will be more productive or their opinions make sense. Yes, that might mean more responsibility, but it's also acknowledging the fact that the reason why I'm having more work is because I'm doing well. It's because I'm making sense. It's because maybe people respect my opinions or people respect my work ethic. Acknowledge the positives. Don't just focus on the negatives because when you focus on the negatives, it can overwhelm you and it can drain you. So if you're looking at the fact that every small meeting they're calling me, every this they're calling me, but how about the fact that you're like, I'm important in this company. Oh. If I don't, if I'm not available, they will even adjust the meeting time to suit my availability. Instead of looking at it as, now wow, they want to kill me with work. How about you look at it as, wow, my bosses are starting to see the impacts that I make in this company. That's a more positive mindset. And that also puts you in a position of power. You're no longer feeling like a victim. Now you're feeling like someone that is respected. So you will carry yourself differently, naturally. Just because you feel like, okay, because if I know that my bosses respect my opinions, first of all, I won't be afraid to speak up. Second of all, if I have ideas, I'm able to say them without thinking, maybe they'll think I'm an idiot. Or maybe they will say, what's this one saying? No. So whether it makes complete sense or not, or maybe whether, let me not say whether it makes complete sense, whether I've completely figured out the idea or concept or not, I'm already confident of the fact that they respect me enough to even give me a listening ear. That in itself is something. Some people don't have that liberty. But you are there just focused on the fact that, oh, they're always giving me so much work, they're always putting me on different projects, even if it's not in my department, even if it's not this. And that can be draining. And that can also make you unmotivated because you're looking at it only from one point of view, which is the workload, the stress, additional responsibilities, maybe more of your time is being taken and whatnot. Yeah, that might happen. But there are also positives to it. That automatically means maybe you are more in line for maybe a promotion, a raise, a bonus, or you're even being better positioned within the company. So your role might not necessarily change, but you have better access now. You maybe now have access to senior managements that your colleagues don't have. You have access to maybe the board or directors that your colleagues don't have. You have access to maybe stakeholders that your colleagues don't have. You're being invited to places that your peers are not necessarily being invited to. That comes with more responsibility. But it also means that you've moved a lot more than maybe your peers. So celebrate it and enjoy it. Stay in the moment and not just focus on what is not working or the next thing that we're trying to achieve because there's always something else. There's always something. Once you get comfortable with something, you're asking what else. So if once upon a time I was earning 100K per month, I'm praying to get a job of 200K, then I get a job of 200K. After a while, that 200K is not enough again because I've adjusted my lifestyle to fit 200K. Then it becomes maybe 500K. After a while, 500K is not enough again. I'm looking for 1 million because I've also adjusted. That's part of the progress. But it also does not mean that you now become, uh, I don't know what word I want to use. I don't want to say condescending or you become ungrateful for that thing. And that's why I said sometimes those things that we're not celebrating were once things we prayed for fervently. You're probably fasting and praying and going to church every day, doing night vigil, doing this one, doing everything for this particular thing. And then you get it. And then in a short while, it's almost like, okay, yeah, we have gotten this. What next? We have gotten this. What next? And then you're just in a constant rat race. Can be draining. Can be draining, not just for you, but sometimes even maybe the people around you. Because it almost seems like every time is there's something, there's something, there's something. Like at what point do we even sit down and say, guys, well done? That guys can be you, yourself, and I. So it's by yourself, you're talking to yourself and you say, we try, we try. Yeah, we tried. Might have failed along the way, but we tried. At least we made an effort. We tried. That's it. Sometimes the celebration is not even for the achieving the goal. The celebration is for the attempt. Because once upon a time, you were too scared to even try. And then you finally tried. It might not have worked the first couple of times, but celebrate the fact that you even overcame that fear to try, to attempt. That itself is movement, is progress. But if you're so focused on the fact that you haven't achieved the goal, you won't celebrate those little steps. And that's why I said it can demoralize you Because if you're trying to do something new or something different, you probably stumble or fall a few times. So if you're not taking the time to appreciate how far you've come, even while you're stumbling, it will be harder for you to get to the goalpost. Some people will say, oh, laser focus until we achieve this, which is all well and good. And I'm not saying that you should not have that laser focus for the end goal in mind, but it's just saying that in the midst of the struggle or in the midst of the journey, there are little steps that you can celebrate. If I'm trying to do let's say I'm trying to get to the island from Ikeja. In the journey, I know I will pass Oroshoki, Ogudu, Yaba, what they call it, maybe Akpongbo, CMS, wherever. For every new location, I'm moving closer to my destination. So there might be traffic sometimes, there might be an accident on the road, potholes, whatever it is. But because I know that I'm getting closer to my destination, my mind is saying, okay, we'll soon be there. Okay, we'll soon be there. That's acknowledging that we're moving. It's different from us being stuck in one point. So with every little progress, yes, you stumble. Yes, there might be failures, but even in those failures, there are lessons. Even in those failures, there are things to be grateful for. So just sit in it and appreciate it. Once upon a time, I couldn't climb this flight of stairs without panting. Now I climbed it and I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, I might still not be able to walk for 1 hour, but at least I can climb this flight of stairs. I might not be able to lift 10 kg weight, but I can climb this flight of stairs. It's from climbing the flight of stairs that I'll be able to do twice, then 3 times, then 4 times, then 5 times. And before you know it, it becomes so easy. I'm running up and down the stairs on a regular. That is progress. But before you got to that running up and down regular, it was first one flight. That was the struggle. When you conquered that and it became the next one, then it became the next one, then it became the next one. So just give yourself little pauses to just celebrate those little milestones while you're trying to get to the big milestone. It's part of life. And it gives you, like I said, it gives you peace. It also gives you motivation because it helps you stay more with it because you realize that you're moving. It might not seem that way, but you are moving. As long as you are doing, you're moving. It might be slower than you thought or you expected or you even planned, but you're still moving. That's better than standing still. It's better than standing still anytime, any day. So celebrate it, enjoy it, give it, give it life once in a while. In thinking about it, I was asking myself, what are the possible reasons that people might be feeling this way or even not even being aware of it? And I feel, like I'd mentioned, comparison can sometimes be a killer of joy because you're looking at what the next person has achieved, but you're forgotten where you were coming from. You guys might not have started on the same playing field. So an example is, say, maybe two business owners. One person's business is completely funded, say maybe by her parents, her husband, or whatever. So the business is just for keeping body and soul together. That's not their source of livelihood. They're not necessarily paying any bills from it. So they don't necessarily have as much responsibility. So they can afford to maybe price their goods cheaper than you. But your business is where you are paying for rent, school fees, NEPA bill, maybe even taking care of your parents, younger siblings, and co. But you're looking at your next door neighbor and say, she's selling her own 5,000 and my own is 6,000. How is she able to let me to drop my price so that it's competitive? But that woman doesn't really care if she's making profit or not. She probably does not, is not even calculating profit or loss. For her is I have a business and she's resuming every day. When it's time to restock up, she's going back to the trust fund or the beneficiaries. Say, oh yeah, I want to travel to China. I need $10,000, so I need $20,000. You don't have that. So you have to find that money from your business, which means your business models cannot be the same. It can't be the same. So you can't compare yourself to her and be feeling like a failure. Because the fact is, from this same business, you're paying bills that she's not paying. You're handling responsibilities that she's not handling. So you have to acknowledge what you've achieved. You came from nothing to something. Another person was born with silver spoon. And then how to compete with you. Oh, why? 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 We didn't start on the same point, same starting point. So the fact that I was able to buy a rickety Tokunbo car, for me, that's celebration. So another person is like, what are they washing? This wooden tone plastic car. But now you know, I'm the first person to buy car in my family. And they go to church and do Thanksgiving. Then everybody comes out to see the car and they just look at it and say, and the car, then they shout about be this. Oh, now you know, for us in our house, this car be like Range Rover. Now you know, for the first time, I can say, Daddy, Mommy, enter the car, let's go to church. We're not going to go and enter bus. For us, that's a milestone. And not just a milestone, it's a huge milestone. But if we're busy comparing ourselves to the next person, we say, don't shout it. Before they will say, what we even buy, except that's your business. For us, it's a big deal. To the next person, it might not be. But for us, it's a big deal. There are some people that their errand car is car that we are praying for. That's the car that they used to send driver and cook to market. Meanwhile, some of us are asking God, say, God, I beg, this car, if I have it, it will be my outing car. You know all those cars that when they call you for events, we shine, we wash the car, everything is sparkling. That's it. So that's why I say sometimes it can be because we're comparing ourselves to other people. Sometimes it might even be comparing ourselves to the next goal. So while you've achieved something, you're saying, no, the goal is this. So this one are just small thing. We still there. Yeah, we still there, but we don't get one now. Two will follow, three will follow. Sometimes it can also be fear of being complacent because we feel like if we're too comfortable with something, that means we're not progressing. Not necessarily. It's not about saying, oh, you wallow in it. So I prayed for a 500K job. I got a 500K job. 4 years later, I'm still earning 500K. They have not promoted me. I'm not increased. So yes, of course, you start to get like, what's going on? But the question is, did I become complacent or I forgot that there were bigger goals I was trying to achieve? It's different. You celebrating it is you acknowledging that I achieved this, I worked towards this and I got it. So you wanting to move from 200K salary to 500K salary is not the same person that will automatically be qualified for 500K job. There are certain things that you might need to upgrade about yourself. Maybe certain skills you might need to learn, certain certificates you might need to acquire, experience, those kind of stuff. That's the progress. It's not just the fact that, oh, I was able to now get a job of 500K, but you did certain things to become that person that can even be invited for an interview to get the job of 500K. So that is the celebration. But after a while, of course, there's a next achievement. So I've prayed for 500K. Doesn't mean I want to stay on 500K because even the value of the 500K is not the same. So yes, I want to move to 1 million. I want to move to 2 million. People are earning 100 million, 500 million every month. So why do I want to stay on 500K? But does that mean that I will not I will not celebrate the fact that I'm now earning 500K? No, I'm earning 500K, but I still want to move to the next level. So sometimes because we don't want to look like we're being complacent, we're constantly moving. So there are people that I know some people, their entire careers is 2 years everywhere they worked. They give themselves 2 years. Every 2 years, I'm moving to the next job. Every 2 years, I'm moving to the next. That's their strategy. It works for them. But I also feel like with that kind of strategy, it doesn't give you a chance to fully make an impact anywhere you are because you already have that mindset of I'm out of here in the next 2 years. There's certain things that you won't even bother starting because I'm not going to be able to finish it. There's no point, Harry. But if I'm here for a longer period, then I can feel like, okay, what can we do to maybe grow this business, to do this, to do that, to do that? Because I know that the more the business grows, the more I'm also able to maybe grow with the business. It's a different mindset. So it's not you being complacent, it's just you appreciating what you've achieved so far while you're still keeping your eye on the next prize or the next goal. And I think sometimes we also look at it that our identity is tied to achievement. So you want to sound like I'm in constant motion. You want to feel like every time I see people that I've not seen in a while, I don't want to be in the same place. That's okay. But sometimes that can also be unnecessary pressure. For example, maybe you have a friend who you don't see regularly. Last time I saw you, you said, oh, where are you working? I said, oh, I'm working in XYZ company. I'm the manager there, nice. And then maybe we jam ourselves. Let's say maybe school reunion, for example, 3 years later, 4 years later, 5 years later. Ah, how far now? What are you doing? Say, "Ah, I'm still in XYZ. Oh. I'm the manager." Like, I know the same thing you say you were doing like how many years ago. They might not realize that your responsibilities have changed. Maybe your portfolio has expanded, your team has expanded, your workload has expanded, you've gotten raises, but the position might not have changed. The role might not have changed, the title might not have changed, but the responsibilities might have changed. That is progress. But you're not necessarily having to explain that to other people. But because it seems like this person is still doing the same thing, they're still working in the same company, they're still doing the same thing. I don't need to explain to you that they don't give me salary increase 3 times in those 5 years. It's not your business. Me, I know. You don't necessarily know. But because we want that sometimes external validation, we want it to look like I'm constantly moving. So if they don't promote me, they don't change my title, I move it to another company. So that at least it will seem as if I've changed, I've moved, I've progressed, I've this, I've that. And that can be a bit, I don't know how to put it, overwhelming for the brain because it's almost like it's not enough. It's not enough. Regardless of what you achieve, it's not enough. It's almost like having the spirit of not being grateful for the things that you do or you get, you know. Sometimes it's external pressure. Like I said, seeking that outside validation because people are maybe reacting a certain way, looking at you a certain way, and all those things, which can also tie back into comparison, expectations from other people. Sometimes it's survival mode. When you live in a country like Nigeria that things are not very stable, you feel like you can't sit still. You have to constantly be trying to. Because it's almost like you're working towards a rainy day that you don't know when it will come. So I've achieved this, but I'm like, this one that I've gotten now. Tomorrow now they can wake up tomorrow and say, let me keep hustling, let me keep hustling, let me keep hustling. So you stay in that survival mode. You don't move to the next level. And survival mode, while it can give you maybe hunger, drive, motivation, it can also make you that person that is just, they don't take time to just be. They're just always on it, on it, on it. Yes, you can have a phase or a period and that's what you need. But within that phase, within that period, you have to find those little moments to still pat yourself on the back. And I keep saying celebrate, because that's what it is, really. Just celebrate those little moments. It will help with the drive, with the focus, with whatever it is. It would help. And that's why I said sometimes when you're in that frame of mind, it can seem like it's just constant ambition without reflection. Because you're just going. That's why you hear stories. Sometimes people will say, oh, this guy spent so much money on his family, but his children don't even know him because he didn't spend time with them. So yes, he was the one providing the money, but it was mommy they saw. If I have a tummy ache, it's mommy I'm going to. If I need to go to the hospital, it's mommy. If I have soccer practice, it's mommy. If I have piano lesson, it's mommy. So you wonder why the child is attached to mommy because daddy didn't create the time to spend with the kids. Was he a good provider? Hell yeah. Did he make sure that his family was comfortable? Hell yeah. But he was so busy chasing the next thing, he didn't stop to reflect how his family was doing, not just financially. He didn't stop to ask himself, what kind of life am I living? So I'm providing as a father, as a husband, but I'm only providing financially. I'm not providing emotionally. I'm not providing mentally. I'm not providing other things that my family needs. And you can only realize that if you're reflecting and you're asking yourself questions, because it's not just about money. Money is great, but I keep saying it's not the ultimate goal. It's a means to an end. And if you work hard enough, pray and hand it over to God, yeah, money will come. What do I still want to be? What kind of life do I still want to live even with the money. And that's why I keep saying, I want a life of ease. I want a life that is full of fun. So it's regardless of how much money I make, regardless of how much responsibility I have, I want to ensure that I still enjoy my life. I still have fun. I want to be able to go on vacations, go to nice restaurants, eat good food, experience life, go to a nice concert and feel like watch a nice play. Just do those little things that I'll be happy. That will even make me appreciate the money that I have. Like I can't keep doing the same. That's why I don't understand rich people that don't know how to enjoy their money. Like I can't keep doing the same things that I was doing when I couldn't afford shit. So I put myself in a situation where I'm making way more than I ever thought I could make. But I'm still afraid to go to a restaurant and spend 100K to eat a nice meal and maybe a cocktail. That's money I'm spending on myself. I'm afraid to do that. But I have 100 million in my account. Who has poverty mentality? That's you now. Because you're not even acknowledging the fact that I can now afford to eat this without it affecting anything else. I can afford to spend this money on myself without thinking, what's going to suffer? Once upon a time, you couldn't do that. Once upon a time, to go and hang out with your friends, you had to check which money can I pause, which bill can I pause on paying. But now, you can do that comfortably, conveniently. So yeah, do that. Enjoy your life. I've often I say, Top, you know how to enjoy yourself. I know how to enjoy myself. I know how to enjoy myself. Because you only have one life to live. And if you don't take care of your life, who else will? Who else will? It's like even in relationships, when they say, oh, some babes, they're high maintenance, they're distant. Okay, you saw as high maintenance, now you approach her as high maintenance. So if I've already set a standard to the kind of quality of life I live, you can't bring me to a lower standard. Why? So, for example, in my house, if I have lights, AC, television, internet, food, drink, then you say I should come and visit you. But you say, but there's no light too. Why? And you say I should come and sleep over. I come and spend weekend in your house, but you say there's no light. Why do you think I want to come? Why? Stop it. Why? When in my own house, I have lights, I have food, I have everything. Ah, ah. Then you now say I should leave my comfort and come and sit down with you in your discomfort. No. If anything, let's flip the script. You come to my side. Me, I have, yeah, that's it. Like, so it's saying that you choose what you want. But if you're not reflecting, you can be accumulating achievements, but it doesn't show on you because you're not taking the time to acknowledge it. You're not taking the time to shift how you carry yourself. Because it's not just even in terms of spending money on yourself and blah, blah, blah. But what those things help you do is another level of confidence that you unlock within yourself. So if I say, for example, oh, I go to the spa every month or every other month, I do my body scrub, massage, blah, 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 blah. That's something I already do for myself. Come rain, come sun. Once upon a time, I might not have been able to afford to do those things regularly. Maybe I could only do it once a year. Now I can do it every month or every other month. That's progress. That's progress. So you meet a guy and the guy say, why are you always going to this spa? Okay. Because I like it. Makes me feel good. My skin is this one. I'm enjoying myself. I get to relax. That's what I want to do for myself. I didn't ask you to come and pay for it. If you offer to, of course I'll collect it. But I didn't ask you to pay for it. I chose to do that thing for myself. It's easier for the guy to look and say, this babe, what do I want to get her? I'm not able to buy her car, but I know she likes going to the spa. Let me look for one nice spa and pay for one spa day for her. Because he already saw me doing those things for myself. So it's easier for him to say, this is something I know she would appreciate. But if he's never heard me talk about going to the spa, he might not think of doing that for me. So it's putting yourself in a position where You let yourself enjoy what you've achieved, what you've accomplished. That's why I keep saying money is not the goal, because with money, you can keep wanting more or seeking more. So are you going to live with that constant dissatisfaction? Because it would almost seem like, okay, yes, I wanted to be earning 2K a month. Now I'm earning 4K, but it's not enough. I want to earn 6K. My cousin that came from abroad says she's earning 10K. So that's my next goal. So you're just chasing, 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 chasing. And you're not looking at, well, we don't try you. And because you're not doing that reflecting, you're just in that rat race, just going, 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 going. So it's the reflection that gives you time to sit and celebrate, to sit and be grateful. Thank God. Appreciate what you've achieved. Appreciate how far you've come. Appreciate the journey that you're on or you've been on. It's part of it. It makes it easier. It makes it more fun. It makes it more rewarding because you want to feel fulfilled. Ultimately, we want to feel fulfilled as human beings. It's not just about doing. Is that you want to feel satisfied with the doing. And if you're not reflecting, how do you even? Because there's always something. There's always something to be done. There's always something to achieve. There's always another level to unlock. But when you pause and sit with it, you're able to just, yes, be grateful. And you're able to suck some joy and happiness in that moment. Celebrate it. The next day, we can now say, okay, what next? But at least for now, we want this award. Let's even dance and celebrate. Let's be merry. Drinks on me. Barman, call out. Everybody celebrate. But it's just that. It's not rocket science. You did the work. You put in the work. You set a goal for yourself and you achieved it, or you're working towards achieving it. So acknowledge that and be grateful for the movement, the progress. It gives you a lot more context so that even when things are hard, you're not focused on what is hard. You're focused on the fact that we're making little progress. This is one way not to do it. This is another way not to try it. Or that thing that didn't work, what can we change? It's the mindset shift. It's not necessarily that the actions themselves would change, but it's more that how you're thinking about whatever challenges come your way is different. So it's the same way you are trying to change your mindset towards challenges. Same way you also have to change your mindset towards your success as well, your achievements as well. It's one thing to talk about, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this. But then when you finally do it, you're not able to say, oh, I've done this. So you see some people, they are constantly celebrating themselves. Some people, any small thing they are posting on LinkedIn, oh, I attended this something, something, oh, I went for this, oh, I was this, in your mind, you're thinking, Anna, wow. But all those things is their own, might be their own way of celebrating those little achievements, of celebrating their little milestones. So to you, it might seem like showing off, but to them, it's just patting themselves on the back. And that's okay. It's okay if another person sees it as bragging, that's their business. I keep saying, it's not your business what other people think about you. Do what works for you and do what makes you happy. Everybody else will fall in line. If they don't fall in line, you'll be okay. They'll be okay. You find your tribe will find you. Now, so life be. It's not that difficult. So we look at it and we say, oh, but it might be seen as arrogance. Yeah, it's okay for you to be a bit arrogant. You achieved something. You planned for something and you achieved it. So why not? Enjoy it, celebrate it. And I think, like I said, sometimes we don't celebrate because we feel like celebration is slowing down. Or we see celebration as if we're just sitting comfortable with this. No, doesn't mean that. Your eye is still on the bigger picture, but you're not forgetting the little steps before you get to the bigger picture. That's what it is. It's not the fact that you're slowing down, or it's not the fact that you're becoming complacent. It's more the fact that you're acknowledging those little steps so that you can keep yourself motivated, you can keep yourself consistent to get to that bigger step. That's just it. That's just it. And looking at it, I say, what happens? What is the cost of this not pausing to reflect, not pausing to be in the moment, not pausing to enjoy the things that we've achieved or how far we've come? It can be exhaustion because we feel overwhelmed. We feel like we're just doing, or chasing. So that can bring exhaustion mentally, physically, emotionally. It's draining. Or sometimes it might even be numbness. You feel like a robot. You're just going. Without, asking yourself, okay, why am I chasing? So if I say I want to make 10K a month, why do I want to make 10K a month? There might be certain things I want to be able to afford. But then I make the 10K a month and I don't even buy those things. Or I don't do those things. So I'm chasing the next 20K, I'm chasing the next 30K. So you can sometimes just feel like a machine. You're just working. But you're not enjoying yourself. You're not celebrating. You're not staying in the moment. And that can be tough. And that can also make you feel like you're not successful. Because that's why I said that fulfillment might not come because you're not allowing yourself to appreciate what you've achieved. So you don't get that sense of fulfillment because it's almost like no matter what I do is not enough. No matter what I do, there's something else to be done. For every task I cross off my to-do list, another one pops up, two more pop up. So it's like, where will it end? And that's very draining, very draining. And it kills morale a lot without you even realizing it. So you wonder why you wake up in the morning and just be like, oh God, I don't even want to. I don't even want to. But yesterday, you didn't even thank God for the things that you achieved. So you wake up the next day and it seems like you didn't achieve anything, but you did achieve things. But because you didn't sit to even acknowledge them or reflect on them, you didn't let it register in your system. You wake up the next day as if it's still the same topper or it's still the same person, but it's not. That person has changed. So celebrate it, enjoy it. And sometimes it can make you feel like you're missing in your own life. So I use the example of the guy who is providing money but not spending time with his family. So you come for events or you go to, say, for example, you happen to now go for a school event. You don't know anybody there, whether the parents or the teachers, your children's friends, but you're the daddy that is paying the big school fees. But you don't know anybody there. Nobody knows you. You have to now start introducing yourself as, I'm Fikemi's daddy. I'm this one. Oh. So you might feel like you're lost in your own life because you don't know what's happening with the people around you because you're just so focused on achieving. And you're not pausing to actually live. So that time that you're not spending with your loved ones is time that you're not giving yourself. It's not necessarily even just about them. Even for you, you need that love, you need that comfort, you need that community because they remind us of us being human. We're not just born to work and pay bills. Yeah, that's is a given, unfortunately. But you still live life in the working and paying bills. That's part of it. So I'm chasing responsibilities. I'm chasing things because I need to be able to pay certain bills or handle certain responsibilities. But it doesn't mean that I'll still not be a part of my own life. So I've paid this bill, but I no go keep myself for abeg. Me, I go find one better food chop. Whether you buy it or you cook it in the house, whatever it is, you chop better food. Be happy. Does that mean that tomorrow you will not wake up and hustle? You will still hustle. Whether you chopped that food or not, you will still wake up the next day and hustle. But the fact that I chopped that food, I've put myself in a lighter. So when I even think about it, I'm like, omo, that for we cook yesterday, the sweet die. You get everything inside, snails, momo, shrimps, prawns. Yeah. So I might not be able to afford to eat it every day, but at least this one that I've chopped, I will still be remembering it for a little bit. It's part of it. So the day I'm drinking Gary, I'll remember I say, don't worry. Maybe we chop this thing last week. Maybe next week now we'll chop another one. But let's just manage this Gary. I will use the fantasy. Abi. When we were younger, they used to say people, when they don't have money, they'll go and sit down where they are frying akara. And they'll be drinking gari and they'll be inhaling the smell of the akara. Just to tell their mind as if we're eating akara with this gari. Same, same. But I've lived those moments. So it's easier for me to bring those experiences back. I've enjoyed those moments. It's also saying that in those moments, you find what works for you. Because there'll be days where, like I said, you might not be motivated, you might not even necessarily be in a good mood, or life is just happening to you. Remembering those little moments can put you in a better frame of mind. So maybe one nice vacation you went on, one hangout you had with your friends where you guys just gisted and laughed and just were like secondary school kids again. Just remembering that can put you in a good frame of mind and change the perspective of whatever is happening to you. But if you don't have that experience, you can't go back to it. You can't pull it back. But when you have that experience, you're able to go back to it and relive how you felt so that you can get yourself back into that right frame of mind. So you see where the difference is. If you didn't experience something, you can't call on it. It's like saying that if I did not save money, I can't go and collect in the bank. It's the money I put there that I will go and call. So I have to bank those experiences so that I can bring them back up when I need them. So the day I'm not necessarily in a good mood, I have things that I already know that, if I do this or if I do this, it might change my mood. But if I'd not practiced it enough, how will I know what will change my mood? And I'll just stay in that mood and I'll just be there. Really. But hey, little things, little things. And I think looking at it is saying that that sense of fulfillment is one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself because we're all doing something every day. Every day, we're all doing something. No matter how small, we're all achieving something. So the fact that you woke up and left your house, whether to go to work or to go and hustle for your business, to go and find your daily 2K, that in itself is an achievement. Some people are not able to do that, but you are. So that in itself is an achievement. But if you don't acknowledge it, then it just becomes that's all we do. That's all we do every day in, day out, day in, day out. That's where it can now seem monotonous and you feel like a robot. Because we're just doing. I wake up at 4 o'clock every day. I don't get to my house till 10. That's all that is in your brain. Instead of looking at it as God, thank you, I have a job. I have a paying job. There's a difference. And it helps how you look at it. So everything that you're doing is about you and how you see things. But you can only see things differently if you're allowing yourself to reflect and stay in the moment. I'm very big on experiences. So I'm not necessarily a picture, video kind of person. Half of the time I'll go out and come back home and remember, and I didn't take picture. You know the day. So there's some days that you're not looking very fine. I don't be like, And you get back home and like, I didn't even remember to take picture. Can you imagine this decking where I decked this today now? I didn't even take one picture. But I went out, I enjoyed myself. I was in the moment. Some other people took 1 million pictures, but they can't tell you what happened at that event because they were so focused on taking the pictures. They didn't live the experience. They just ticked a box. I would rather live the experience because that stays with me forever. Yeah, I'm learning. Hopefully, I'll get there. I'm learning to maybe me too. I should be gathering pictures. I'll go at least just for memories. But just say, like, I'm more about being in the moment. I don't understand when you go out with your friends and everybody's just pressing phone. So you see a group of 5 people and everybody's just on their phones. And I'm asking myself, so why are you guys out? Like, why are you out? The whole point of being out is to mingle with people. I can press phone in my house. Abi. So whoever it is I'm talking to, if they are more important than the people I'm sitting with, why am I there with them? So yeah, of course, I'm not saying that completely ignore your phone, but I'm probably one of those people. I can leave my phone now and forget for 2 hours to even check who send me message, who no send me message, because I'm enjoying the company that I'm in. So whatever it is that is on my phone can wait. especially if it's not an emergency. It can wait. If it's message, if it's chat, if it's whatever, can't wait. Let me enjoy being out with the people that I'm out with. That's staying in the moment because you want to live in the moment. So no matter how small, you are enjoying it. It might seem like it's not the same people I always hang out with. Yeah, might be the same people you hang out with, but every hangout is different. Every conversation is different. Every interaction is different. So if you're not present in that moment, how do you take away from it? So yeah, I like experiences, genuinely. And I think basically what I'm trying to say is that growth and enjoyment can coexist. If anything, I even think is very important for them to coexist. Like I said last week, as regards fun, the same thing with this being present. Because how do you have fun if you are not staying in the moment, if you're not being intentional? So I remember when we shot the episode, one of my guys was saying, "Oh, that he used to play football and he genuinely used to love it, but somehow just hasn't done it in a while." Imagine if he now does it tomorrow. The kind of joy that would come because it's taking him back to a period in his life when maybe things were easier, but didn't have as much responsibilities and all those kind of. That's why I like old school music because I think maybe for me was just a reminder of fun times, less stressful times, periods where we didn't really have any responsibility. Our only work was to eat, sleep, go to school, and enjoy ourselves. And be thinking of the lie you want to knock your parents so that if you collect money from their hand. We're not the ones that were paying any bills. So maybe that's why I'm stuck in a certain era music wise. But I know that for me, I genuinely just love it. That's my interpretation. I don't know. Yes, I also feel like the music in that time is fantastic, but still, a lot of it is more the memories that I've attached to that period of my life. So sometimes that can be even with the activities that we do. So as simple as that playing football can take you to a better time in your life where things were simpler, things were not as stressful. And that can just change the way your entire spirit feels. Try it. Like, try it. You'll be surprised. Try it. I love it. And I think is not being too one-sided, which is why for me, life is about balance. Work hard, play hard. If anything, for me, is work hard, play harder. Because that play harder is the you letting off steam, pressure, whatever, so that you can go back rejuvenated, remotivated, re-excited to do more. Your play can now intertwine with your work. Your comforts or your little joy moments can intertwine. So I know that my work is stressful, but in between I decided, okay, look, you know what? I'm going to be packing lunch from home because I want to be eating good food every day. So I'll be cooking from home. It might seem like such a small thing, but it can make a big difference because maybe typically you are eating junk food or you're not buying anything that is available, but you might not really enjoy it, or it might be costing you more than you can afford. But then when you start to cook and bring your own food to the office, you see that you're actually eating food that you like and you enjoy. It changes how your day is. So no matter how bad my day is, at least I'm looking forward to lunch because I know that I will eat something that will make me happy. In case people have not noticed, I talk about food a lot. So yeah, I like food. Even though I don't eat it as much as I talk about it, but I like good food because I feel like food in itself is an experience. It's an experience. So I think it's very important to be intentional about what you eat. Eat good food. It's good for your soul. Don't just eat good food where you go out. Eat good food even in your own house. Cook better food. Chop. It's not where you go to Buka alone that you buy bokoto. Buy bokoto and cook it in your house and eat because you deserve it. You can want more, but still appreciate now. Because this now was once your more that you wanted. This now was once something you prayed for, but now you have it. It was once something you worked towards, but now you have it. So appreciate it, celebrate it, but you can still want more. So you appreciating or celebrating it, like I said, is not complacency. It's just more of acknowledging and being grateful. Little things. And you can also, as they say, you can be ambitious but still stay present. And that's why I said, yes, we're not taking our eye off the big goal, but it doesn't change the fact that there are little steps before we get to that big goal. So let's acknowledge those little steps before we get to the big goal. I use the example of going from Ikeja to the island. Say if you are in a bus. So for every bus stop, the conductor is calling, Unipan, wow, Maryland, wow, Ojota, wow. If you are talking to someone who is expecting you and they're asking, how far? Well, I don't reach. We don't reach here. The person knows, okay, they're getting closer. The next time because, well, I don't reach. We don't reach here. We're getting closer. That's movement. So yes, I've not gotten to the island, but I'm moving closer. The next time you call me, I've moved closer. So it's the same thing with our lives. There's always something else that you're working towards. There's always something else that you're trying to achieve. But it doesn't negate the fact that this place you are now was once something you prayed for or was something you worked towards. Now you have it, celebrate it and stay with it and sit with it. That's part of what makes life interesting and makes it less overwhelming because you can't do anything about the stress or whatever else that might come at you. But you can do something about yourself. So this whole intentionality is not just for walk, walk, walk. Also play, also relaxation, rest. It can be a form of acknowledging. Like I've worked hard. You know the way you can say, this week was a tough week. This weekend, I'm not going anywhere. I just want to be at home and just be lazy. I'm not even cooking. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to order in, watch Netflix and chill. Some other people will be like, how? You mean, you mean? That's reward for me. You might not understand it, but for me, that's a form of reward. Because not only am I resting physically, I'm resting mentally, emotionally. I'm giving myself time to just breathe and pause. By the time Monday comes, I'm in a better frame of mind to start a new week and face whatever challenges come, compared to the person who was active the whole weekend. Even if it was for social stuff, not work-related stuff, it can become overwhelming too. So you've gone for 5 events over the weekend. So by Monday, you need another 1 day extra to rest. Because Saturday and Sunday, you were up and about. Then come Monday, it seems like you are resuming Monday fully stressed. It's your call. I keep saying it's your call. Everything is in your hands. So you find that balance so that you are constantly, because it's another form of pouring back into yourself. You're giving yourself a chance to just breathe and be okay. You really say, no, Mickey, Jesus, I beg, make I just relax more. Yeah. Give yourself that chance to breathe. It's okay. It's all right. It's allowed. And that means that maybe you won't go for 1 or 2 events that they invited you for. That's fine. I'm too tired. My week was too long. I was too busy. I don't know if I have the energy to do that whole dress up, wear makeup, tie gele, be for Wambe. I would have loved to go, but I honestly, right now, my body just wants to be lazy. I want to be in my pajamas from morning to night without stressing myself. That is rest. That for me is reward. That's an opportunity to just pause and breathe in. And I'm like, yeah, we'll be all right. Last. We'll be all right. So looking at it, and I think it's not a heavy episode. It's just more of seeing things from a different perspective. Life is not that hard. Yes, it's difficult sometimes. Yes, it can be tough. But the truth is, life is only as hard as you make it. So you have to intentionally create soft pockets for yourself. And those soft pockets are the things that we're spoken about. Doing things that you enjoy, celebrating your little wins, taking time to pause and reflect, taking time to be grateful, to be in the moment, to experience life, to live life, I'm not just going through the motions. So I want to be a billionaire in dollars does not mean that I don't want to enjoy life. I want to still enjoy life while I'm working towards being a billionaire. So when I make my first $1 million, I will celebrate it. By the time I make the next one, I will celebrate it. The next, because before you know it, it starts becoming from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 10 to 100 to. I can't wait until I become a billionaire before I celebrate. Now I go tell, I go tell. Even though the prayer is that it happens quickly, but still, that means between now and then, I will not have anything to celebrate. Are you whining me? Stop it. There's always something to celebrate. So celebrate those little wins. You won't celebrate the failures too. Because like I said, those failures, just the attempt in itself can be the milestone. Might not be achieving the goal, but the attempt is the milestone. Because once upon a time, I was scared to do this. Once upon a time, I was scared to do this podcast. But now I've been doing it consistently. I pat myself on the back. If nobody tell me, say, they try. Me, if I know that they try. Me too, I know I've improved. I know that I've improved. Let's just put it that way. I've improved. Without getting it right all the time, I can see the difference from the very first episode and now. The time frame that I need to get myself in the right mindset is becoming shorter and shorter and shorter. When I just started, if I'm shooting the whole day before, I'm already saying, tomorrow we are shooting. What are we talking about? Let's relax. Let's calm down. Now, I can sit down 1 hour before and I'm like, okay, what do I want to talk about? What is important to me? And once I do that, it's easier for me to draft something. There's so many tools and resources. Now I can go to ChatGPT. I want to talk about this, and this. Give me a few talking points. And then it gives me something. I look at it, either tweak it or if it's fine, fantastic. And I'll just come and sit down and shoot. There was a period I couldn't do that without having to read that script 20 times. But because I'm doing it consistently, I'm getting more comfortable with it. It's becoming easier. So the difference might not even be how I present myself. Like I said, that difference or the milestone is the amount of preparation time I need. I could only acknowledge that because I stopped to reflect. Otherwise, I might be so focused on the fact that, oh, I'm more confident, oh, I'm more this. But what made the biggest change is I don't need as much time to psych myself to shoot, unlike I did when I just started, because it was such a huge fear. Now it's like normal. So if I go for an event now and they put a camera to my face, I'll be better composed. Before, forget it. They put camera to my face. I'm just there like, yeah, hi, my name is. I just now, so if you don't adjust yourself, say, yeah, this is me. There were little steps along the way. Some the stumble might not have even been public, but in my mind, my heart could have been beating, baby, 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 baby. It won't show, but deep down, I know that maybe I was nervous, I was scared, I was this, I was that. Now I'm more, when I first started, I was afraid of what people would think about me. I was afraid of what people would think about what I was talking about, if it was making sense or if it wasn't. Now I really don't care. It's not because I still don't feel like, oh, I want it to resonate, but I'm no more afraid of whether people will get me or not. Now I'm sure that the people that will get me will get me. If you're not going to get me, it's not, I can't come, I can't force you. Neither am I going to try to convince you. No, 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 no. But once upon a time, that was the biggest issue. Will people get what I'm trying to do? Or would they say, what's this one doing safe? No, it's okay. So now, even if you say, what's this one doing safe, that's okay. I'm not your tribe, you're not my tribe. That's fine. The people that resonate with what I say, it will make sense to them. That's fine. And more importantly, is making sense to me. That's the difference. Before it was looking outside. Now I'm looking more inside. That is progress. Have I made my $1 billion? No. Have I ever made $1 million? What am I saying? Have I ever made $10,000? No. But I know that I've made progress. I know. So I've not achieved that goal, but I've made progress in other aspects because it's all those different steps that would make me become that person that can earn $1 billion. That will make me be that person that somebody will say, we need you to come and speak at this conference. We'll pay for your flights, hotel, tickets, welfare, blah, blah, blah. The former topper will not have been that person. All those different shifts and changes needed to happen for me to eventually become that person. So while those shifts and changes are happening, I have to acknowledge and celebrate them because it's helping me get to that bigger goal. So ultimately, that's it. And that's why I said is you can be ambitious but still be present. You can be looking forward but still be in the moment. It's fine. See, I guess yes. And they tell you people, I don't know. It's if I dey surprise myself sometimes, but it works. So I want to leave you guys with a few questions. And this is something that I would obviously, me too, I will ask myself. But I think for you guys at home, you see this progress now. I never remember. Please, hi guys. If you are new here, please like, subscribe, share, comment. We love to hear from you. We're excited. We're always wanting to hear from you. It's always interesting to hear other people's opinions, or even to hear what resonated with you in whatever I said. But at least like and subscribe. I can't get $1 billion if people are not liking and subscribing. I know plenty of people that say, Tope, I watch your podcast though. But I'm like, but I know they see on numbers for them. If you just say you're watching it, and one of those people, you see 1,000 views, and you see 30 likes. Like, help my ministry now. Help my, all you have to do is just press, boom. That's it. Help my ministry. This is a communal effort. It's a communal effort. Help my ministry. I cannot come and dance on my podcast, but at least this small one where they do. So yeah, you see, we are learning every day. I've still not gotten this part too. And you know how many episodes I've shot? I still forget. But am I going to focus on the fact that I never remember this one? No. We found solution. So when we're editing post-production, they help me put the subscribe and like because they don't know say this one she will forget. Even if I don't forget, it's just nice to also have that. So it's celebrate the one that is working. The one that is not working, will improve on it. So as I remember, I don't tell people, please like, subscribe. So yeah, back to it. Let me leave you guys with a few questions. Question one. What did you achieve recently that you never fully acknowledged? No matter how small, it might seem small to you, but just think about it. What did you achieve recently that you never fully acknowledged? Another one is, what version of you would have been excited about this current life that you're living? Because you once prayed for this, but now you're here and you've forgotten that it used to be a goal. It used to be a prayer point. What version of you? It might be the 20-year-old version of you. It might be that 10-year-old version. It might be that when we're growing up, we didn't even used to eat 3 square meals. Now I'm the one that I'm even feeding other people. That version of you might be impressed. To acknowledge it, celebrate it. And I think another question to ask yourself is, what are you postponing joy for? What are you postponing joy for? Because if you're not staying in the moments, you're constantly seeking something else. That means you're postponing your celebrations. You're postponing your joy. It would almost seem like it's something that is unachievable, whereas it's already there with you. And my final question, how do you build celebration into your rhythm? I think you should ask yourself that question every day until you figure it out. How do you build celebration into your rhythm? Ah, see, let's just say, let's just say, if you can, I would love if you can answer those 4 questions. Just comments. Even if you can't, sit with yourself with those questions and write it out and just ponder on it because that's the whole reflection thing. We get so carried away with doing that we're not stopping to reflect or maybe even acknowledge. So do yourself that favor. It helps. It helps. So finally, maybe the goal isn't to stop growing. It's not. Never maybe. The goal isn't to stop growing. The goal is to stop postponing life until the next milestone. There would always be another milestone. Because if every version of success immediately becomes another starting point, so immediately I achieve something, I'm already looking at the next thing. We may spend our whole life moving forward without ever feeling like we arrived anywhere. And I don't think life was meant to be experienced that way. It honestly don't. Counted to close like sensible person, but their daddy. With these few points of mine, I hope I'll be able to convince you and not confuse you that you need joy in your life. You need joy in your life. In case you're not aware. Anyway, love you guys. See you on the next episode. Bye. Mwah.